That's a pen number.
Wow, they really. And they think that everybody's supposed to be all right because on other platforms you could do it. No, we stood on here. So I had to realize I was delusional. Wow, they really are scared of me. Wow. All right.
Millennial, what's up, man? Malik, what's happening? What's happening? I'm about to go ahead and get this workout on real quick. I just wanted to drop something real quick. I'm not gonna wait for everybody to come in. They come in and whatever. So I'm at Sprouts picking up some goodies, Greek salad, cherries and stuff like that, tart cherry, pineapples, right? I'm big on this new diet thing and eating very little, allowing my body to make a definitive change. Now, I want some of this shit to heal. I want some cartilage and stuff to grow back. I mean, if it grows back, then I can do things that I push myself to do without harming or further hurting myself. So I'm in there, and his brother, he speaks up. Because, you know, when we see each other, a little dark melanated, we always say, what's cracking? I say hi to everybody, you know. But Arizona is filled with a whole lot of Zionists right now. A lot of them from New York, Virginia, California, oh my, Oregon, Washington State. Texas. They just all planted here, and then we have what's called the winter rabbits or whatever you want to call them. They come when it's cold in their country, state, or whatever, and they come here, Canada, and all that. Now they won't say who they are, but by the mannerisms we could tell, and the worthless liberal Negroes. Now, this brother standing there with his buckwheat twist in his head, and he's a little tall or whatever. You know, some people come from places where, you know, that stuff is intimidating. I stand 5'10", 216, 220 pounds, and I'm not no small dude. I'm built like a silverback. Like, I'm thick, sideways, and, you know, when I'm approaching you, my shoulders aren't narrow. I'm pretty wide, right? So he strikes some conversation. I'm like, it's all good, you know, supreme, you know. I throw that out there because people need to acclimate and know that they're more than less than. Now, I don't get into the fancy words of supreme, this, that, gods, and all that stuff. Yet, I will acclimate and I will profess that to anyone. So, I was talking about some things. I said, you know, I made a couple of statements, you know, because he mentioned some background location where he's from. He stated Oregon. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. But, you know, the energy's changing. You don't have to create a vortex. Things are going to happen. So the brother, as I mentioned, you know, we buried my uncle John Amos a year ago. And he said, and he didn't get it at first. He said, what, John Amos? I was like, yeah, you saw the video. Everybody saw it. Amon Joe KC was in the truck manipulating John. He's old as hell, you know. I don't know if he smoked any weed. He might have got some with meth. Who knows? Well, he smoked a lot of weed around us and everything, right? Everybody, all my uncles smoked a lot of weed. That was not the problem. The issue was, you know, my aunt had power of attorney over John Amos's, you know, estate and everything. KC wanted it. So she finally turned it over and she says she was tired. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with John no more. I gotta let him go. I was like, damn, well, you know what I'm saying? And y'all saw the YouTube channel. Y'all saw that's Johanna Wright. That's my aunt. She was one of the heads of the Board of Education on the East Coast, taught White Plains, blah, 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 the whole nine. You know, she was in college when I was a little jit, you know, in middle school, in Mount Hebron, you know, Buzz Aldrin, all those great people that went there, NFL, NBA players, all that shit. I was afforded to go to some great schools. All right, Mount Clare, boom, 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 Mounties. So he on this side, and I'm over here, and I'm looking at some things, and he says, "Oh, I want to get your take on something. This is what liberal Negroes do. This is how stupid they are. I don't entertain it, but I entertain this today, just for a moment." He said, "What is your take on the transatlantic slave trade?" Now, I got on a BDU. I got on, you know, I got a boonie hat on, you know. I'm not wearing this one. I'm just wearing the other one. I said, I don't believe in it. He says, well, I believe in it wholeheartedly. I was like, you know, my first instinct, based on an emotion that was steeped in a feeling of betrayal, lie, and defeatism, not on me, but our system of existence. And I says, nah, bro, I don't believe in it. He says, what about the banjo? When he said the banjo, talking about West Africa, this is what's wrong with a lot of our people. They're very ignorant to facts. Like the gourd. The gourd comes from here. You know what plant is, you know, what vegetables made from. Anyway, and that's how it was made. The original banjo with a gourd and shit like that. Anyway, I said, that's from here, bro. We took that over there. He's talking about the Bantus, the Ashanti. I said, you ever been over there? No. I've been. Like certain places, a lot of places around the world. He's talking about what he knows. And his knowledge is what he's been told, what he's read. Y'all know me, I read a lot. But I've been places. I've been in their goddamn libraries. I've been in their museums. We are all in there. And on the buildings, just like here. And I'm looking at this guy, he don't look one bit African. And I'm like, here's another one of these ignorant Negroes. He's a little tall, 6'2", whatever. You know, a little arrogant about his stature, because, you know, they kind of have this, when you're a liberal, when you're an individual cut out of the truth of existence, and it's just wordism, you kind of think that means something. He's unaware that I like to fight big motherfuckers. So that wasn't about fighting, but his demeanor, I had to check that. You know, I box, motherfucker. You know, I didn't say everything I did because I like to choke a motherfucker out, but I'm not advocating violence. In my head, I'm like, this is the road he wants to go. I'm gonna shut it the fuck down, because I really do. Anyway, I really do like to fight. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I really fucking do. And I haven't in a minute. It's an itch. But I don't act on it out of emotion. I just know that if it goes down, I'm like, yoo-hoo, yeah. You know, I'm like, oh shit, yeah. And some people would be like, what the fuck? But anywho, funny shit. So he's pointing out shit. I'm like, man, you know, over 394 vegetables and fruits come from fucking here that over there. Okra ain't grow over there. Where the fuck it grow at? I'm like, man, I'm not having this conversation, but I hear where you're coming from. I respect where you at. And he goes, I'll try to make a point. You cut me off. The first thing a liberal nigga does, cut you off, nigga, you cutting me off. I'm pointing out facts you don't want to hear, so you want to contest it with, I was about to make a fact, you cut me off. Right there, you're making a simple argument that's not an argument, which is for a collusion and a deeper understanding or acceptance of you're at where you're at, or I'm at where I'm at. All right, we believe what we believe. I don't believe in shit, you know that, because that's least knowledge from knowing. But I says, look, man, it's all good. That's where you're at. I dig it. You don't have to believe what I mean, what I know. All right, I don't have to believe what you fucking know. But I says, I'm telling this nigga I've been around the world a few times. I'm telling this knucklehead, this Negro, right? This Negroides, you know, factual shit. And he's running with the made up shit as if I'm supposed to listen and hold that as if he's doing a TED talk. Motherfucker, you ain't been nowhere. You ain't been in no library or no museum. I don't really want to hear what the fuck you got to say, but I'm listening. So I don't say that, but in my head, it's like, this motherfucker he's not listening. I wonder if he got the ooh-wops or if he's Ranger or ex-military and he been tasked with something. Because it's funny how he all of a sudden pops up where I'm at. I'm like, are these motherfuckers that goddamn stupid? Now, as y'all know, the energy's changing. I know y'all can feel it. The energy is definitely changing, which I embrace. So I say, look, he does it 3 more times, and by that time, I've had enough. I said, yo, my man, fuck all that. You where you at, I'm where I'm at. It's all good, right? Nothing but respect. All right, I'm out. Because I ain't doing this dance. I ain't doing teeth, motherfucking jujitsu and tongue judo. Fuck all that. All right? You where you at? You're not going to convince me otherwise. You be African, nigga. Or African-American, whatever Zionist made up shit. Because he even went off on the Zionists. I said, well, you're pushing their history. They made up shit. When is a pale skin tell you your fucking history? You're supposed to fucking know. I said, but you know, in a war, you can change 3 generations of thought and information. Oh, yeah. This nigga is listening but not hearing shit. I was done. You peace. I'm out. I got my card. I got the shit I needed. I just walked the fuck away. But you know me, I got to say something. Man, if this nigga was thinking intimidation was going to work, he could have got knocked out in the aisle. And I mean dead ass knocked the fuck out. If it was another me in a different time, I'd have stepped to him and crack, 2-3 piece real quick. But it's not who I am. Well, fuck, it's part of who I am, but that's not how I'm moving because you don't accomplish nothing like that, And I made it my business to allow myself to wean away from complacency, ignorance, and pure fucking utter stupidity. If you can't rationalize with deep reasoning and you haven't really been nowhere and you hear I'm up out of motherfucking Oregon, nigga, I know exactly who you is. And I had to let them know I'm not liberal or conservative. I don't respect to see none of that shit because both parties are owned by the same bastards and you can't even recognize that, but you parlay in it and you're having a conversation as if you know who the fuck you're talking to. I know who I'm talking to because I've seen it 1,000 times. It's nothing new. It hasn't changed. From the streets of Harlem and Brooklyn to Brooklyn. All right? It hasn't changed from my time in the military in Florida to when I was in Texas or Oklahoma and on the Navajo reservation, all the other reservations. It hasn't changed. So I'm not here to change your affliction. I'm not here to save no fucking mind. But I know one thing, he stepped out of pocket the moment he tried to assert his demeanor of size, looking at me as if that meant something. That's when I said, oh, he's one of these kumbaya motherfuckers. And I ain't talking about join together now, people around the world. No. Not Blues Clues or none of that shit. And I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. This motherfucker tried it. I said, are they really that? Is the energy gone to that place where everybody classically are fucking that stupid now? Maybe there is no way for people to make better choices. Maybe they remove their supremacy, being supreme of self existence and seek better self-indignations. Maybe, I'm not saying it's factual, but I don't do that type of walk. And I need the idiots to pay attention to what I'm saying. Has nothing changed in frequencies of what I recognize or see. I don't care. I know the dilemma and the fact that everyone's talking Civil War because you got Zionists playing like they're racist, getting all the Peckerwoods who don't know no better that these are fake ass Jews doing this. Well, maybe, possibly. There's history in there. All right, how the Bolsheviks move. I'm saying in theory, okay, that people are subjugated based on a narrative painted elusively by the enemy. And they can't see the enemy because they become the enemy themselves based on that all-inclusive inclusion. I don't feel it. I see it, I feel it as far as the change and how the frequencies, the clouds, the sun not peering through, the rain to come, and whatever other chemicals. And aluminum is a big, decisive blow. And most people are unaware from babyhood all the way up, this aluminum, what it plays in the part of your energy and frequency, the spark, the electricity, the synapse, the firing and everything. It's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to say, eat this, Dr. CB that. No, I don't give a fuck. If I mention some things, that's just because I'm giving a little tea. It's up to a motherfucker to make the change. You dig what I'm saying? All right? If people would only take the time to recognize these things, it may be beneficial. If they choose not, don't come in here and ask for a mind. They can't even like the videos, man. Save that. But regardless of that, right? I got in my truck. I'm going through my phone. I know a couple of bills I got to pay, right? And I'm laughing because I'm looking at what I'm about to do, right? The documents, the paperwork, all the shit I've collected over the years. And these people have no idea. And I really didn't want to make people go, when they didn't have to put up that ignorant ass fight. You see what I'm saying? And I got to get in here, get my workout on, and I'm closing tonight. I think it's 1 to 9 that I'm working. And I just wanted to come on and share that because I know I put a video up. One didn't even upload, and I was like, fuck that video. Excuse my French. But I'm going to go in here, do what I got to do, shower and shave, get ready for work, eat me a healthy meal, and enjoy the night and hopefully learn some more about the job, some good people and everything like that. I don't know how to reach the brothers and sisters. They've got to reach themselves. It's not for me. Original Lone Wolf got some good information. He got the last couple of videos he did were bangers. I don't know what's going on with T. I think, I always say, like, when you start finding yourself, you need to separate. You need to find that, you need to be able to carry yourself as well as helping carry other people. You know what I'm saying? 7 grams, he's doing his thing. A few other people, Olmec, he's doing his thing. He's working, beautiful stuff. Millennials doing her thing. Niece doing her thing. Westside, I got my new phone. If you come in, West doing his thing. I told you guys I met doing laundry. It's a beautiful world, even in the dark, in the midst of ugliness. Remember that. All right. And we're going to utilize the word Yohade, beautiful. It is what it is. All right. And it's nothing but respect. Now, regardless of me, because I am a pugilist with things, and I have a hatred for violence. I do like fighting. Don't get it fucked up. And it's not a good thing. And that's something I work on. Another thing I noticed that when you stop doing certain things, you're tempted, you want to, you might start, but you stop. There's a different energy that comes over you in this perversion. And you're always going to be tried in it. Now, my knees are jacked, my back, my wrist, blah, 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 right? I don't let it stop me like my foot. I don't let things stop me. You can't, but you don't have to. You don't have to get so deeply involved in thought in it. You've got to manifest a different change, a different vernacular. You've got to approach things differently. You've got to assert yourself and set different parameters. You got to say, okay, it's there. Well, you acknowledge it there, but get to the point where you don't have to acknowledge it. When you get to the point where you don't have to acknowledge it, then you start manifesting and you speak things in. Now, this is what I've been told and what I've read and what I've learned. It doesn't mean that it's essentially the exact answer. But these things, y'all have wrenches. If they acting too stupid, you know how to get rid of them. All right? But I appreciate everybody. I really do. Okay? With that being said, that's all I had, man. And I appreciate you guys. I thought I'd go live and share this because it's always a learning thing. And with me, there's still things steeped in me that I have to clear the cupboard of. There's cobwebs, there's Charlotte's Web, you know, there's little things. There's Mises and Mices that I want in the field instead of in my place and domain that I have to put out. I don't have to destroy, but I have to put out, put away so they can find a new layer. And that's a job that I partake in. All right. Hey, Tom Millennial. I know we can haul them bots too, I guess, right? You get rid of one, all of a sudden they all disappear, right? Hey, Tom, appreciate you, man. Millennial, yeah, thank you, Mama. All right. On 3-4U, what's going on, God? What's happening? Sharon, what's up, Mama? Hey, God, what's happening? What's happening? All right. So I appreciate y'all. You dig what I'm saying? No text to me via phone or a message. You serious? Yo, I'm going to do this a one-time thing. Call, put in 480-667-8631. I got a blocker too, so spam whatever, the shit'll block it. 480-667-8631. Call me. Peace and blessings. Yeah, that's the one I got. All right? So I'll holler at y'all later. Yeah, all of ours does. Trust me. I'll holler at y'all later.